Hello, Kevin and Steve's with me again.
Morning.
We are in Northleach in the Cotswolds. This is an addition to what we were on our plans, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We found this yesterday. We're outside the church of St Peter and St Paul of Northleach, and we're taking advantage of the weather being a little bit drier at the moment. I'm going to do a walk around the outside now of St Peter and St Paul. As you can see, it's a stone-built, Cotswold stone-built church. You've got the Norman tower up there, which is rather ornate in places, but this church is huge, and they've got these huge windows, and I'm on the south side. I'll try and back away to give you a better view of it. As I said just now, we found this on the way back yesterday, and this is famous, and it's known as the Wool Church because the Cotswolds was famous for its wool. And I'm on the east end of the church, and I know that when we get inside there is this incredible stained glass window which is there. From the inside it is just got the wow factor. It is stunning. So let me move round to the north side of the church. Again, just look at this, the different levels of the church, looking up towards the bell tower. We've got a big yew tree here. I don't want to go up on this footpath. There's a public footpath runs right the way through. That's very, very muddy, and I don't want to be walking any mud into the church. So I'm just going to be very careful. As I say, look at the size of these windows with these huge stone surrounds with the ornate stonework separating the different bits of the window. They look as though they are plain, very small leaded light panes of glass, pieces of glass. But I think at the tops this is stained glass, but the glass is mottled, very mottled effect glass. We've got a brick gully taking all the rainwater away, but as you can tell I'm right against the church now. Lovely old door here, look at this, with these grotesques either side of the door surround, and likewise on the windows. But I'm right below the bell tower now. Just look at this. I'm nearly back where I started, because the end is very close. This west end is very close to these properties here, and you can't really get a good shot of the church. Let me just go down this little footpath, and then I'll be able to bring you a much better look. But look at this blossom. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So I'm nearly round at the south porch, or the south entrance that I mentioned just now. And then I'll be going in to have a look around the inside just as the sun comes out. Oh, isn't that lovely? Just look at the size of this south porch. Steve and I are just about to go in to the porch, in through the porch, just to have a look around the inside of the church. But look at this. Let me just show you this roof. Isn't fantastic. And we've got these grotesques all the way along here, depicting different things, faces. And we've got initials being carved into the stonework here. This fantastic door. Isn't that great? Well, thankfully, there is some information here which I'll be able to bring to you. I've had to don the glasses. And the very first thing that we see when we enter the church is the font. It's a 14th century font. As I say, it's on the left-hand side as we come in. A mirror on the floor helps to show how the angels supporting the bowl are playing early musical instruments. So let's have a look here. So we've got the mirror here. And there we are. Hopefully the camera will pick that up, how they're playing their instruments. And those are the ones that are just underneath there. It's actually playing their early musical instruments. Portery, Rebecca, Luke and Nakers. At the base are devils being crushed by the power of the Christian baptism. An unusual feature, the cover is modern. So that's the modern cover, just there. Rather lovely though, I have to say. And then into the nave. The nave has 5 bays, as it's described here, with lofty arcades of octagonal piers with concave sides. So these are the piers that they're talking about. Stretch it right the way up. It is so tall. It's such a big church. It's amazing. The clerestory, including the 9 light windows over the chancel arch, was completed after the death of John Forte in 1458. He was a rich wool merchant who left £300 to the church. The 15th century goblet or wine glass pulpit is set against the northeast pier. Originally it would have been richly in colour. So there's the pulpit that it mentions. At least I believe that's the one it's on about here. Difficult to tell really. Let's have a look up into the chancel. Now when I was out on the outside just now, I mentioned the stunning window, and just look at that. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? The light is absolutely streaming through. But that is just wonderful. In fact, probably one of the nicest windows on the east end, the chancel end, I think I've ever seen. The chancel was dating from the 14th century. It is the oldest part of the church, though the windows are 15th century insertions. Under the east window is the altar. The original mensa, Latin for table, slab survives, weighing about 1 ton. At the Protestant Reformation in the mid-16th century, all stone altars had to be removed and wooden communal tables substituted. Fortunately, the mensa was buried, possibly under the chancel floor. It was found in 1884 and put back in position in 1902. Well, just there we've got the 3 sedilia seats. And that, I think, over there is an aumbrey. I wonder if it says anything about the aumbrey. On the north of the wall of the chancel is an aumbrey, a small cupboard, yeah, originally for holding holy objects. I've just stepped into the south aisle, and we're in what is, I'm assuming it's a lady chapel. And this is one of the windows I was talking about, where it was just plain, or just slight off colour to the windows. And we've got these different brasses in the wall. And I've noticed over here, as I walked in, there is these brasses set into the wall, just there. Again, when you look around, there are all these different marks on the walls. There's another one there, and another one there. Look, they're going all the way up. We need to find out what these markings are. There's clearly some significance to these marks, because they are on the side wall of the arch as you go into the Lady Chapel, and it's actually known as the Bicknell Chapel as well, and was built in 1489. But I need to find out what these markings are. Just to the side of the Lady Chapel, we've got these openings here, and it allows people from the Lady Chapel to see through to the sermon that's being given. And these are called squinths. This squinth opening. Well, I'm just below, or directly below, the tower. And the tower is 100 feet high. It has 8 bells hung in it, and 6 of them dating from the 1700s. We've got more brasses here. And being very respectful and not walking on them. This one here is William Midwinter, High Bailiff in 1493. And I think it's suggesting he died in 1500. And then just here we've got an unknown woolman and his wife from 1400, with woolpack and lapdog at their feet. Well, unfortunately, oh yes there is, I beg your pardon, just there, look at that. And as I mentioned earlier on, the Cotswolds really got its fame from the wool and the wool merchants. Again, in this, as Steve pointed out just now, as you walk around, they've got these information sheets on the wall, on the walls, telling you different things, and that's very good. You don't see that very often. And here we are. Look. Earlier oak font cover, and that's taken from a photograph circa 1900. The font was then sighted in the west bay of the north aisle. And this here looks like an old clock mechanism. Just there, yeah it is, look at that, fantastic, isn't that lovely? Oh crikey, and then just tucked away, sadly underneath this Lego, these other brasses set into the floor, and it says Agnes and her two husbands, William Scores Taylor and Thomas Forte, a woolman, 1450. Thomas was a repairer of roads and churches. Let me just have a look, see, this is particularly high for the pulpit, and you would be standing substantially above the congregation. I think that's probably one of the highest I've ever seen. Well, Steve and I were just about to leave the church, and again, more brass is set into the floor. And this is John Forte, 1458. Rebuilt much of the church, especially the nave and clerestory, cost us £300. The 6 medallions are his wallmark. So that's one there, look. Another one there. And another one there. You got that one there, and you got 2 more at the bottom. Unfortunately, it's got a carpet. I'm not, as Steve said, we're not touching anything as a respect. But just past this other pillar, there is another set of brasses. And I think this is the most brasses set in the floor I've seen in any church. And this is Robert and Anne Search, 1501, complete brass. He was a mercer selling fine cloth.
She died on the 6th of August 1733 and he died 20 days afterwards.
Wow, gosh. Let's have a look at that. Daniel and Eleanor Howes. That's amazing, isn't it? Do it that way. Where are you? Oh, you're in there. Yeah, yeah, right. That's it. Well, Steve and I have finished now at St Peter and St Paul of Northleach. We're going to head off and get some lunch now, but this is a rather remarkable church. As I said on the video, it's famed for its being known as the Wool Church, not the
Wood Church.
Yeah, thank you. There's a little bit of a joke that we're aware of. So we're going to head off now. So anyway, this is Kevin and Steve saying bye bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.
If you've enjoyed this video on Kevin's Rambles YouTube channel, why not give him a subscribe and a like and comment on his videos? It'd be very much appreciated.